About 2 months ago, I remember posting this particular tutorial. Yes, I mean this particular one, 5 most powerful and craziest tools on Pixellab. And I remember at some point in the video, I asked if you would love a tutorial on background manipulation, saying that is one of the biggest challenges of smartphone designers, especially Pixellab designers. Then I got a lot of people requesting for the video on background manipulation. I got a lot of yeses and people who have been desperately asking for tutorials on background manipulation, and that is why in this video I've decided to tell you 3 background manipulation hacks that are going to help you in your design process. Now stick around. If you are new to this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's go right into the video. I'll see you in the video. Alright, so once again you are welcome to this video. Now when it comes to background manipulation, there are 3 major functions or features, whatever you would love to call it, that I use on Pixellab. One is the texture. I use texture a lot. When it comes to background manipulation, I use eraser a lot. Let me show you what I'm talking about. For texture, it can't show unless I am working with a shape or a text. So yeah, this is texture. Look at this particular function. This is texture. I use this a lot in background manipulation. Another function that I use, another feature, another tool that I use is color filters. Okay, I use this a lot, especially when I'm dealing with with a background that I downloaded. Okay, I use this a lot. Then another tool I use, I think I mentioned this earlier, is the eraser tool. Okay, yeah, this is the eraser tool. You see, this eraser tool, probably I'm going to do a special video on it. Let me know if you need a video just on the eraser tool in the comment section, and then I can consider it, just like I considered this video earlier on. So yeah, there are so many things you can do with the eraser tool, like many powerful things. When it comes to look at it, there are different tools, so I use this a lot whenever I'm trying to manipulate my background. Okay, then another function I use a lot when it comes to background manipulation is my color. Now I don't want to say color, but basically let me just use fading. Okay, I use fades a lot. And like I said in this video, just like what this video is about, I'll be showing you 3 background manipulation hacks, like 3 ways I manipulate my background. Just one of the 3 ways out of, okay, I actually explore whenever I'm designing. So I come up with different ways whenever I want to manipulate my background, depending on the kind of design I'm doing, depending on the peculiarity of the design. Okay, but then in this tutorial, like I said, I'm going to be showing you just 3 of those ways. Now stick around and let's go. Now the first thing, and the first thing I would like to talk about, is the fade plus texture. Okay, fade plus texture, that is using the fade, using fading, and I'm going to show what I'm talking about basically. Now when it comes to fade, I create the fade myself. Now if you are not new to Pixellab, and if you are not new to my channel, meanwhile if you are new, do it to hit the subscribe button. But then if you are not new, you should have come across my tutorial on how to create fade effect. Okay, fading basically. Now click on gradient, right? Then let me just pick one of these. Okay, let me not pick it. Yeah, let me just show you how to create your own basically. So let me pick one of these default. Then I'm just going to pick this, select the color I want. I can just select any color I want depending on the kind of design I'm creating and depending on the colors I want to use in my design. Then I'm going to tap on this other node, tap on this. Then I'm going to increase this up. You can see that I'm increasing the transparency up. Click on OK. Now I've been able to create my fade effect. I can decide to use any gradient layout that I know is going to help me achieve what I want to achieve. Basically, I use this and this a lot. I use this and this a lot, especially when it comes to background manipulation. I use this particular one a lot. Now click on OK. Okay, now you can decide to adjust this. Yes, you can decide to adjust this the way you want, or you can decide to adjust it here. It all depends on what you want basically. But then let me just move this down a bit and click on OK. click on OK and mark it. Now I've created the fade effect. If I decide to change the color of my background, now you're going to see that it's going to be, you can see it. Yes, I've created my fade effect. Now how do I use this in background manipulation? Now one thing you need to understand, that when it comes to background manipulation, that is one of the most important aspects of your design. Okay, that is one of the most important aspect of your design. And if you are trying to, depending on the kind of design you are creating basically, but then if I'm trying to create a flyer, I'm a kind of person that do not really like my design to be plain. I do not like using white background, like just plain white background. It's to me, okay, like I've seen people that use white background in their designs and create mind-blowing designs, okay, but then this is just my choice. Basically, I do not like using just white background. That doesn't mean I've not used it before, and that doesn't mean I won't still use it, but then you may just see it 1 in 10 designs, okay. So I don't use it often because I'm not usually comfortable with it. It basically makes my, not just white, okay, I mean plain background. It can be solid color, it can be maybe blue. Like what I mean when I say white, I mean just a plain background. I do not like it. Like let me show what I'm talking about. Let's see, let me hide this. Let's say for example now white, or let's say I just select one color. Oh come on, sorry, let's say I just click on this and then I create design just with this background, not doing anything to the background. I do not really like it. Okay, so basically that is just my choice. And yeah, so basically what I do, seems I'm beginning to say basically too much. Sorry. So yeah, the first way, like I said, is using fade. Now how do I use fade and texture? Now this is what I'm going to explain now. There are times where, see, okay, let me start with this. When you are manipulating background, you need to understand the fact that you must first of all be able to get good backgrounds. Now it seems like I am contradicting myself, because I'm talking about manipulating background now, and I'm talking about downloading good backgrounds. Okay, basically I'm talking about downloading good stock photos, good stock images. Basically, let me show what I'm trying to talk about. All right, so for example, look at this name. This is background. This is like a folder. This one of the folder on my phone that contains so many background images. You can see that different stock photos. Okay, so when we talk about background manipulation, most times it's basically using some of these images together. So some of these resources together, like combining them together, strategically combining them together to form something amazing, and blend them together. Wow, I love this. I actually use this for one design sometimes last year, yeah, sometimes in 2022. It was very amazing. So this is what I'm talking about when I say that you need to have amazing stock photos. Okay, so let me continue. Yeah, I would like to use this one basically to be able to explain what I mean by that texture, fade texture. So yeah, go back. Now this is the fade. Okay, I've created my fade. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to go to, yeah, go to texture, click on texture, tap on this, right? Then let me scroll down, look for that particular image I said I was going to use. If I can't find it quickly, I think I'm just going to pick another one. Oh come on, I think I'm just going to pick another one for the sake of this tutorial, basically, so that I don't spend too long, and so that this tutorial does not become too long. Okay, now let me use this for example. I think I found another interesting one. Yes, look at this. Now I'm going to click on it. Now look at this. Now mark it. Okay, now you realize that even at this you can see a line here, right? You can see a line here. Now tap on it, click on this edit, and then you have to adjust it. Okay, look at this. Now there's another line here, but you know that I can easily increase my size for it to cover that. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do now is to adjust the color. Oh come on, sorry. Click on this and click on edit. Okay, now click on plus. There's something I want to edit now, and that is changing this color. Okay, I want to change this color because you realize that looking at this, you see that even though we've been able to insert our image into our shape as texture, you realize that this part looks dark, and the simple reason is because of the color we use here. So I need to go back and I need to change this. Oh, come on. Oh, I need to change this. Yeah, tap on this, then change the color to white. Okay, change this color to white, change it to white, click on OK. Now this is what I'm talking about. Click on OK and mark it. Now you can tell that there are differences here. Now I can now increase the size. Okay, I can now increase the size, and if I want to make it look more bold, I'll have to do just to move this down a bit. You can see it. Click on OK, click on mark. Now you can see what I'm talking about here. Now I can decide to increase this. You can see it. Then I can decide to now change the color of my background to this. Okay, or maybe blue, something to just match my background. All right, or instead of doing this, the next thing I can decide to do now is to now bring in another image. Just import another image. Okay, import another image. Let's say this. Okay, just watch me and watch what I'm doing. You are going to see this time around I do not need to use fade for this, right? I do not need to use texture for this, since I already created a fade for this particular one in the background already. I'm just going to move this here, and I'm just going to click to back. Okay, now you can see how I was able to blend these two images together. Can you see it? Now this is not perfectly blend together. You can see that it is not perfectly it is not perfect, but then if I'm trying to achieve a kind of design, I can use this now, and I'm just going to edit it more. Basically, let's say for example I want to create a design that has to do with, I think this is going to fit into a church flyer, or yeah, I think it's a church flyer or a poster. Basically a poster or a photo manipulation poster basically. So you realize that one thing I would do is that, okay, I'm just going to increase this size more, okay, to cover up the space in the middle. Now you can see it. Then I'm going to lock it. And usually maybe the next thing I'm going to do now is to go to color filters. You can see what I'm talking about now. Go to color filters, then I can now adjust this color to blend together with this one. Guys, can you see what I'm talking about? Look at this. Can you see the way it's blending together with this one up here? Now I can also reduce the saturation. All right, if I realize that, okay, this is more of purple, so let me adjust it more. Yes, you can just adjust it more basically to suit into what you want. Okay, you can play around it and all of that. So this is one way I manipulate my background using texture. Like I use this a lot. Let me show you a design I handled recently that I still used it. Okay, okay, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, let me show you this. Basically, let me show you this. Now look at this image in the background. Let me hide this trade. Let me hide this highlight. Let me hide this arrow so that I can see what I'm talking about. Look at this background. Can you see it? Yes, you should. Now you can see that this particular background, it looks like blended. You can see, but the simple way I was able to achieve this was using the same method I just showed you. Okay, so if I hide this now, you can see it. You can see it again. Now look at this. What is this particular thing? This is a fade. Okay, this is basically a fade effect, the shape that I just faded. Look at it. Let me move it so that I can see what I'm talking about. Can you see it? Can you see what I'm talking about? Now if I go to texture, let's go to texture, right? Let's go to texture. This is one of the, I use this almost every time. Look at, let me delete the texture. Okay. Oh, why is it not deleting? Okay, look at this. Delete. Can you see that it's no longer there? Now let me change the color so you still know that this is a shape. Can you see what I'm talking about now? Can you see? Now I need to talk about something that when you are dealing with a shape like a fade effect like this and you increase the color, let me undo that texture. Let me bring back the texture. Yeah, this is it. Now if I come here and I change the color here, no matter what you do, you won't be able to see the texture again. Okay, so when you are dealing with shape and you are dealing with texture, you need to understand that where you can change your color is not from here. Don't change your color from here. That is when you are dealing with texture. Okay, when you want to insert texture, don't tamper with the color from here. Tamper with the color of your shape from here instead. Okay, Yeah, from here, look at this. Tap on this. This is where you should tamper with the color. Even if you want to tamper with the color, you can see what I'm talking about. And this. So, but go back. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. So you can see how I was able to achieve this with this. Let's go back to where I was. All right. So now the second way I manipulate my background, I can't really call that background manipulation because it's what I call the lazy man's way. Now I use this a lot, especially when I need to meet up with deadline, or when I'm working on so many projects basically, or maybe when I'm experiencing creative block and I don't want to spend so much time manipulating background, bringing together images and all of that. Now what I do is I go to free pick. Now I don't want to show you all of that process. I don't want to show you all of that process because it's going to take our time, but then it's very simple. I go to free pick. If I think there's a tutorial on the channel too that talks about free pick and all of that. Yes, watch the tutorial. It's on the channel. Just go to my channel and scroll down, you'll see tutorial on free pick. Now what I do is that I go to free pick and let me just show you one that I even recently downloaded. I go to free pick, then I search for blurred background. Okay, I search for blurred background, ignore all of these designs. Okay, now look at this. For example, I was working on a project recently this morning, and that was what made me download these two. And if I should show you this design, that was what I used in this design. I combined this particular method of going to free pick, going to Unsplash, going to some of these sites, get the a search for blurred background. Blurred background that is blurred. What that does is that it makes your background not look plain, but then it makes it look like things are going on in the background. So it makes your design more interesting, it makes your design more appealing. Okay, let me show you this design, for example. Yeah, let me show you this design I handled. Where is it? Okay, yeah, let me show you this design, for example. Oh no, not this, sorry, this. Yeah, let me show you this. I recently worked on this design. Come on. Yeah, look at this background. Can you see this background? Now what I did was that this particular background was a blurred background. This particular background was a blurred background from free pick. Then what I did was that I edited the background. Now you can use softwares like Adobe Lightroom to edit the background, but this particular one I did the editing in Pixellab. Basically I use color filters. Now you can see where color filters is coming to play now. In fact, I think for this too I use eraser. Now let me tell you something. I have not spoken about eraser, but I think I'll talk about that in the third method. Okay, yes, so this is a blurred background basically, but then in Pixellab I edited it. Then I now use the first method, that is the method of using shape, fade and texture, that is creating fade effect using shape, then importing texture. So I imported this particular one, I imported it as texture. Now if you look at this background, you may not know, but then there are two different images, two different blurred stock photos in this background. This is one, this is another one, this is another one, this is one. So how did I combine them? By using the first method of using shape and texture, then bringing another image to be in the background. That was the exact method I used, and you can see the design looking so amazing. Okay, now that is the second way. So you can see this some background I see downloaded this morning, yeah, recently. Look at this. All right, so this is one of them. So I don't stress myself too much, okay, especially when I'm dealing with social media design that do not need so much manipulation. I don't do this for I think I do this for flyers sometimes, but I don't do this for posters or photo manipulations. Why? Because it's not going to, those ones, so many things need to be going on in the background. Okay, like your background needs to look very much interesting, and this may not be able to achieve help you achieve that. So I use this more for social media design, seeing that I am more into social media design than any other kind of design. Basically, more into I design for brands, like at social media design more. All right, now the third way is using the eraser tool. Now this particular way is also very similar to the first one, but then this one is such that after importing the image, okay, after importing different image, I think I'm also going to, yeah, under this method I'm also going to talk about the draw tool. I use the draw tool a lot. All right, I think I should show you this particular design that I handled recently. Though the design, I'm not really very pleased with the design, but then I believe you should love it. The design looks great, right? This design looks great. Now, how did I achieve this? Look at this. You can see this particular shape. Let me import it so that you can see what I'm talking about. Look at this. You can see this particular not this star, right? Not this star, but I'm talking about this wavy shape. I use the draw tool for it. So the third way is using the draw to stroke the eraser tool. Okay, that is using the draw tool and using the eraser tool. Now you can always choose them interchangeably. That should not, that does not mean, okay, basically that does not mean that they do the same work. No, they don't do the same work. But my point is that I just want to merge them together as this point 3, okay, as the third way, the third background manipulation arc. So if you look at this background, I didn't do any serious manipulation in this background actually, but then to make the design look more interesting, to make the design look more catchy, to make the design look more feminine, I use a wavy and I was able to create this very simple. Just click on your draw tool, yeah, click on fill inside, increase the smoothness, then yeah, you can now do some, and I do some like this. Very simple, very simple. Then move this down, then this, the mark, very simple. Then increase this size. Now, another thing I could have easily achieved using this method is that I can now bring in my image as texture. Can you see the beauty, guys? Can you see the beauty? I can now bring in any image as texture. Yes, let me bring in, okay, yeah, let me bring this in as texture. Okay, so you can see this. All right, there's like a black stroke there, okay, but then you can always find your way around it. So now my background, I can now decide to use something in the background, very simple. And yeah, so basically this is just one way. Actually, this is just one way. So this is draw tool. Then sometimes I can bring in an image, okay, just like I show you many images in my background folder. I don't want to go there because it's going to take longer, but then for example I can bring in this image now. All right, I can bring in this image. I do this sometimes too. Now remember, I said I actually use different methods when it comes to background manipulation, depending on the kind of design I'm handling, depending on the peculiarity of the design. So now I just increase this, okay, I increase this. This is called flow. You can call it flow, yeah. So or hardness, okay, you can call this the hardness too. Can call this hardness. Yeah, I think hardness is the right word. That's using the words from Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. So now I can now come here and I can begin to erase. Okay, you can see it. I just erase some parts. Okay, yes, no, realize and remember that design is thinking. So before I just decide to erase like this, I must have thought about the effect it will have on my design. Okay, now I can decide to now bring in a shape. Now listen to this and look at this background manipulation method. Oh my, come on. So I now click on gradient, right? I can click on gradient. Then maybe I want to use this color for example, right? I want to use this color for example, or yes, since the kind of image I'm dealing with has much white. Look at this, is white here, this is white here. So let me just use the white gradient. Now look at white gradients. Oh, come on. Yes, this. All right, you can see it. This is a white gradient, white field rather. So I now increase this size. You can see the way this particular shape has covered that that part I erased, and that's made it blend. Now you need to understand that when we are talking about blend, you should, if you use PC software, because I also use Photoshop, you will realize that one of the biggest advantage that Photoshop has over Pixellab, that Photoshop has over smartphone design apps, okay, like Pixellab, is the fact that you can't blend images on Pixellab, but on Photoshop there are so many blend options, so many ways you can blend, and that is a very powerful feature, a very powerful tool when it comes to background manipulation, if you get my point. Okay, so all of these things is just in an attempt to help us achieve that blend. So I actually use this a lot especially when I'm dealing with maybe a church flyer. Okay, so I can set my image here, for example, like the right image. Okay, let me give a practical example. The thread is getting too long actually, but then let me just use this to explain. Let me click on color here. Now remember that the reason why I'm picking my color from here is simply because I am not dealing with I am not using texture. Okay, in this case I'm not using texture. All right, so let me just pause it and bring in my image. All right, so let me use this for example, like this one that someone is putting end on the Bible. I was actually looking for an image of people raising up their hands before, because that's a very popular image. Okay, look at this. I can use this actually. I think I should use this actually. This looks great, so I'm just going to use this, mark it, then I will increase the size. You can even see that there is a similarity in their colors, like there's purple here and there's purple here, so they will actually blend well. And I think this will lead me to say that one way to know the right color to use in your gradient is actually looking at the color, or you can always adjust this, like I said, using the color filters. You can see the beauty. You can always adjust this color to fit into the color you want, or the color you want to work with. Like look at green. Okay, look at green for example. I think I should use green. Yeah, let me use this green. Now that means that we have to change our color to green actually. Then yeah, we just have to look for the right green to pick, because there are different shades of green, right? So I'm just going to pick this one, but then I want to make it darker. I need it to be darker. I'm just going to make it darker, then move this here, click on OK, then click this and click on to back. Okay, click on to back. All right, you can see what I'm doing now. Now click on edit, then adjust this, move this down, adjust this. Now mark it. You can see what I'm achieving now. Now click on this. Now you can now change the color of the background to also that same green. You see the way to blend so much now. All right, you can see what I'm doing. Okay, you can see what I'm doing. So you someone will say design is actually thinking, so you just have to think. Okay, you have to think, spend time thinking. I tell people spend more time thinking, and you can see we have been able to manipulate this, right? Then if I want this to cover it, it's very simple. All I have to do is just to bring this down more. Maybe I just want a part of it to show. Then I can begin to click my text and set everything in place, Bible and all of that. Maybe Bible, prayer. Maybe I type on prayer, and yes, from here I can create a design. In fact, I'm beginning to get a design concept, but since this is not a design tutorial, let me know if you want me to use this background to create a design. Okay, let me know in the comment section if you want me to use this background to create a design. Let me know in the comment section, right? Okay, so thank you for following me to this point. I've just shown you three powerful background manipulation apps you can always use on so many of your design. The truth is that there are more. Okay, and I have more in my course. It's actually a paid course, so if you want to know more about it, you can just chat me up, the Creative Magician, or just check the description box below. You'll see the link to our community. From there you can drop your message and everything. Okay, so there are more ways, like many more ways. Like presently I can begin to talk about four more different ways to manipulate backgrounds. But then for the sake of this tutorial, thank you for following me to this point. If you are not subscribed, do hit the subscribe button, do hit the like button, do hit to share this video with one or more persons. Please don't gatekeep this knowledge. Share, and let's increase this channel to more than what it is. Okay, yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Turn on your notification bell for the next video too. See you in the next video. Peace out.